Good morning, everybody, or good evening. It is Craig Whisperinstoryteller here, and I hope you are well. So here we are, Sunday the 27th of February. And what a beautiful morning it is here in northeast England. The sun is shining. There's a lovely bright blue sky, and of course lots of bulbs and spring flowers are shooting through the ground. So everywhere you drive you can see spring just starting to rear its head. It's just around the corner, which is fantastic news because it's been a long, dark winter. So how has your week been? I hope it's been well. A slightly different setting today, so I am in my living room. I haven't done a great deal of videos in this living room. I did the meditation one, where I sit and go through all the breathing exercises. I was actually sitting where I'm standing now. So, yeah, there's not many rooms in this house now that I haven't used for a video at some point. So just trying to think about what we touched on last week. The job, yeah. So you recall I went for a job interview, and I was a little bit unsure of how I would progress, whether it was something I had a potential chance of getting or not. But I'm great to say I did get the job. So I'm now going to be working in a different role, more of a support role, more of doing ad hoc duties and supporting some of the departments in the facility as a whole, rather than just being in one process. So that does excite me. I'm really looking forward to getting involved in it and finding out what it's got to offer, and of course what I can offer the role as well. So that's a bit of good news. I got that news last Tuesday, I think it was, kind of midday. I just got a random email in my inbox congratulating me over my interview success. So that was good news. That was something I wasn't sure how I was going to progress. I think interviews always leave you feeling a little bit vulnerable. As I mentioned last week, it's a very unnatural situation to be in. It doesn't feel natural at all, and the conversation is very kind of measured as well, isn't it? So yesterday I went to Newcastle and met up with a good friend who I used to work with for many, many, many years in my previous role. And we went to lots of microbreweries and had a wander around the city, had a few drinks, went to Chinatown, enjoyed some food there. It was really nice to kind of just feel normal again, after the pandemic. A lot of people were not wearing masks anymore, including me, and it felt strange not to be wearing the mask. I rarely get the public transport, but because of the alcohol consumption, I did, and it just felt strange getting on the bus without putting on a face mask or being prompted, seeing signs and images to come to make sure you do wear a face mask. But there was nothing like that, and the passengers on the bus themselves didn't have masks on either. So I did feel it was a sense of normality, possibly the greatest one that I've noticed yet, the biggest change, if you like. I can definitely say it was almost like the last 2 years melted away, and it was complete normality. So we went to a few microbreweries which are really popular here in the United Kingdom. These are independent breweries which kind of street corners or really small establishments. We went in one which was some kind of industrial theme going on. I don't know if it was a prefab or it was all kind of, the stairs were made out of metal girders, and there was a lot of graffiti and a very urban vibe inside. But what was great, there was a guy in with a dog. I was stroking the dog, and really friendly people in there. And some of the ales that they were producing were really nice as well. So I went to the Split Chimp, which is one of my regular haunts when I go to Newcastle. And again, that's a really quirky establishment. It has a theatre seats as seats, all with kind of a different design, and there's even a couple of pianos in there. So you get a real bohemian vibe in these places, which is really nice. And the music isn't so loud, and you can have great conversations without having to shout. Because I think some places with really loud music, sometimes it just affects the ambience, if you like. Because I do like to, especially when we don't get a chance to see people much anymore, it just makes a world of difference when you can have a really nice conversation and not have to shout above the music. So went to Chinatown and had some food. We had nothing special. We had a set menu for 3. We had like sweet and sour chicken and black bean sauce, beef in a black bean sauce on a Lazy Susan. So 3 portions that we just shared out, and it was pretty good to sit in a restaurant again after so long. You can hear cars going past in the street. Despite being set off the main road, this road does tend to be quite busy with traffic. And I'm not sure why people use this road, because again, you've got to come off the main road to drive down it. But I think a lot of people try to avoid the traffic lights by coming down this road. So we often hear cars racing down. There's another one. I hope you don't mind this noise of traffic. And of course, the seagulls are here again, and they've been squawking for hours since dawn. I don't think I'll ever get rid of the seagulls. I think they are part of the area. So Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So after the questionnaire that I put up, I have recorded another few chapters. And I'm going to record the whole thing before I start uploading it to my channel, and reason being is because I just want to have a bit of continuity as well. Same light setup, just feel like, it's one continuous story instead of having to set up the lights and make sure it looks similar to the last time, because I do move around quite a bit, and the idea is to have something which is going to feel a whole, a one big project, if you like. So I've done 3 chapters now, and I know some of you are asking about flipping angles to the book, back to me, vice versa. And yes, I will do that, but I think I'll get the whole project together first before I start uploading it, so it might take a good few weeks to get that at that stage, if you like. It's not a long book at all. I think 22 chapters. But if I try to do it 3 or 4 a week, it might be more manageable for me, and then I can start uploading that for you. How does that sound? Perhaps you could let me know in the comments what you think of that idea. With the Wellbeing series, so just to recap, I did a We All Need a Little Time video, which was really nicely received, thank you very much. But I am going to be doing a series of other videos similar, just in my opinion, how to relax, how to have a happier lifestyle based on my own personal philosophy. Take it or leave it, of course. But hopefully it'll be relaxing if it isn't helpful for you. What I've been banking on for that is some nice weather to go outside and get some shots of me walking around in nature and parks, beaches, coastal areas. But we've been hit by quite a lot of bad weather lately with storms, rain, and today is actually one of the nicest days. Well, yesterday was as well, but today is really nice, and maybe if I can, I might go out for an hour or two and get some footage of me walking around somewhere. There's plenty of places to choose from, so we'll see how that goes. But again, I'll wait until I have a few of those before I start uploading, and I hope that's alright. On the TV front, I still haven't watched Succession, just due to having a busy week and being really tired on an evening. And the last thing I like to do is to watch something when I'm tired. So I'm saving that for an evening when I can sit and enjoy it without the risk of falling asleep. I did watch a Netflix movie last week. It was the Requel. Requel is the new title for a reboot sequel to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is an old classic horror movie, of course, from the 1970s. But this Netflix movie, I'm not sure if Netflix made it or they bought it from another company. We were intrigued to watch it, so we did, and it isn't great, I'll be honest. It's very, very sloppily made, very sloppily written. It had a lot of... did you ever see the reboot of Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis a couple of years back, where she played this victim who wanted revenge on the Michael Myers character? Well, they kind of did that in this movie with the original victim from the original Chainsaw. So she's been waiting 50 years for revenge on the Leatherface character. But why did she wait 50 years? Why didn't she... It wasn't that hard to find him, surely. And what happened to his family in the original movie? He had a family of crazy people. There was a grandpa, if I remember rightly. There was a guy who owned the gas station. No sign of him, not mentioned once. So yeah, it just felt messy. It didn't feel organic. It felt everything was shoehorned in for the sake of it. There was a PTSD subplot, which was really interesting, but ultimately it was a little half-baked and didn't really add to the film as a whole. So have you seen that film? What did you think? So guys, I've been thinking a lot about my writing as well. So I've now abandoned my writing for quite a while. So I've got a few projects on the go. One which is set in the Second World War in England, and a children's story that I told you about. But I'm not getting to them at all at the moment because of one of the reasons is making content for this channel. So I was thinking, as I do that quite a bit, I was thinking about having a hiatus soon, just because of the amount of time it's taken to try and come up with content. But I have been doing the whole Wellbeing and the Charlie series. I was thinking I might try and get them done as quick as possible, and I could do a few weeks or however long I need where I'm still uploading in my absence. I'm just using some material that I've kind of prepared already, if that makes sense. That's my thoughts. I was just thinking about having, a little bit of time just to focus on my writing, which is really suffering at the moment and something I really need to do. Yeah, but don't worry, ultimately I'm not going anywhere. I'll be staying and doing regular content. It's just sometimes we need to find time to incorporate other important areas of our lives as well. So I've been watching more ASMR myself, so I generally tend to go to bed and watch a little bit of ASMR before I fall asleep, which is usually halfway through a video. But I'm still returning to some old classic faces. I still love to listen to John Butler. Anything he says, so wise, so warm and so grandfatherly. I really love him, so I know he's very, very popular, and I just love his philosophies, and Phil's also great as well. The other guy who accompanies him, he often puts himself down in the videos as being in the way of things, but I think Phil's got a really nice, relaxing voice as well. What do you think? So this channel, of course, is Spiritual Unfoldment, which is the name of one of John's books. But he's been going for a few years now, and he is loved by many, many, many subscribers and fans. And he has a retreat where he invites a collection of people to go and spend some time with him. I went down to Ward where he lives last year on a project of my own, a writing project, and I thought about dropping in and just having a look around the area where he lives, but I didn't, unfortunately. I didn't have the time. I've actually been thinking about some of the ASMR videos that I started out with many, many, many years ago, because Rich from Let's Find Out ASMR, great guy, huge fan, he posted something about what was your first ASMR experience, pre-ASMR being a thing, if you like. So we're talking about all through your life up to about 2006, 7, maybe that's when it started to slowly appear on YouTube. But I remember watching Lita, the massage therapist. She was fantastic, a voice that would just make your insides go to goo. Her pronunciations and her tone of voice was just absolutely relaxation off the scale. And there's a very famous massage video where she is doing a massage, and it's the most amazing video ever, and it's so lo-fi, it's so just naturalistic, nothing clever, no funny lighting, no triggers. It's all unintentional, which is usually what is the best ASMR, I think.